Welcome everyone to File Info and Searching. This is the first video in the data mining Windows section. I'm really excited to show you all how I enumerate local systems, and then in the scenario video in this section, we're actually going to be applying all those concepts to enumerate a file server that's sitting around in Phyllis Snyder's Windows domain. So really exciting stuff. Let's jump right in here. I've got Rogue Arena up, data mining Windows section over here, and we're going to first try to find some specific file types. Now, I do want to point out, be careful recursive searching at the root of C. It's going to take a really long time. It's liable to really slow down the system as it's searching every possible file. So I would try to be a little bit more directive. Maybe search the users folder specifically before you actually just list out the whole hard drive. So that's what we're going to do over here. Let's get down into a shell on our callback here. And then we're going to be doing a lot of command prompt or cmd exe kind of dir commands. So I'm going to pull that up. We'll just pull up command prompt. And then the first one here, I'm actually going to modify this just a little bit here. I'm going to do Phyllis Snyder. I think that's how you spell it. Let's do a dir c users to be sure over here. Phyllis Snyder. Perfect. So we're actually going to kind of modify that command. And that's kind of what the point of the RTFM is. We want to give you all the tools you need. And then if you need to make some fine-tune adjustments to get them to work for your specific situation, you can do that. So let's come over here. Let's paste this in. This is going to dir walk Phyllis Snyder, everything below, looking for any PDF files. And sure enough, right off the bat, we have some Microsoft Edge history, which is really interesting. We've got a DLL here, and then of course, you know, a couple files matched as well. We have a how to change the administrator on Windows 10. You know, maybe Phyllis is some type of administrator or kind of plays around with that stuff sometimes. Deployment guide for admins definitely gives us a little bit more insight into what she does for her job or what she's researching. I'd like to also point out we search for PDF here, but you could look for doc, docx, XLS, any file type you want to search for. Just replace that PDF. So this next one's really cool, find string SI password. This one is going to go through, list out any text files, and then look for the word password inside. So if it finds a text file and finds password inside, really cool. Just be careful and only run this where you're comfortable in it opening up the different files. Obviously, like running this over the whole C drive would be probably pretty bad, so don't do that. Let's go ahead, we'll copy this, we'll paste it in here, and we'll see what it comes back with. It does key off some really big files that are just sitting in the user profile directory, but what I really want you to take a look at are these two files right here. You have desktop myfile.txt and desktop password.txt. Both of those files contain the string password. So it keyed on that, it brought it back. Again, I would not recommend running this against a giant file server. You may crash a computer or slow it down. Access is denied would just be everywhere. It'd be really bad. So don't run it in that way. This next command I use all the time, type. It's just awesome. So let's try type here. It saves you a lot of time and effort having to download files off of a host. It'll actually just print out the contents of the file to the screen. So let's just do this password.txt right here. Of course, just goes in, types out that file. The contents are my awesome password. Pretty cool. Again, you're data mining, you have hundreds of files. You don't want to take the time to download every single one. If it's a text file, just type it out. You're good. So this next command is kind of like that previous one that searches the contents of the file, but it's going to try to match on a specific line. So let's try this. So let's do find I. Our string to search, we're going to look for password again, because we know there's some files there. And then we're going to give it the target file path. So in this one, instead of opening all the files, it's going to open a specific file that we tell it to search. So let's do desktop. We'll do password.txt. So this one's going to go through and list out all the lines in the file, but it's only going to show those that match what I sent it. So I gave it password here, and of course it lists out the actual line, my awesome password. This is really cool. I know I run a similar command on Linux quite a bit just to see how many lines are in a file, you know, how big is it? You can kind of hack together a similar command on Windows right here. So let's give this one a try. We'll do type. Let's give it the target file path. So we'll do desktop \, and then instead of the same one we've been using here, password text, let's try my file text here. And then we got to pipe that to find CV double quote. And sure enough, it goes through, opens the file, and then tells you how many lines are in the file. Again, kind of helpful. Let's say you wanted to type out the whole file, kind of blow up your shell, but you want to verify it's not hundreds of thousands of lines. You can run this first. It'll go through, give you a little snippet of how many lines actually exist, and then you can go through and type it out after that. This is another really, really awesome one. Let's go ahead. We'll copy paste this. I do need to put Phyllis's name in here, so let's edit it right here. Phyllis Snyder. It's all italicized. I have no idea if that's going to break it, so better safe than sorry, I say. Let's go ahead, let's copy it. We'll see if this one runs successfully. So we dir'd out her recents directory. Now, this is a great place to check. Please, if you're doing a CTF or an operation, list this out. This is going to show you all the files a user interacts with commonly. So if they have a password document they're opening every day, it's going to be in here. All right, I got a nice clean notepad over here. Let's paste in the directory. So we want to do a type to find out where this file is that they're interacting with all the time. As you can see here, it's a .lnk file. This is not the actual file. It's a shortcut to the actual file. So we just have to do a couple more steps to find that target location. So let's do a type. We're going to do a backslash. We'll do myfile.lnk. Perfect, nice and easy. Let's copy paste that into our remote access tool. A lot of people may freak out. They're like, hey, this looks, weirdly encoded file. I don't know what to look for in here. But look really close and you will see the exact file path to the target file. So we can see here, see users, Phyllis Snyder desktop, myfile.txt. From here, you can either do a download, you can do a type, whatever you want to do to actually find the contents of the file. So I'm going to copy, paste. I did not type, so let's get that going. Perfect, and we have the contents of the file. So just kind of a recap on that one. We did a dir to see all the link files of the files that Phyllis interacts with all the time. We typed one of them out to print out all the encoded data, but also the path of where that file actually lives. And then we went ahead and we did a type of the actual file to get the contents. And you could do a download, obviously. You could do a number of different things to grab that file. So that's a wrap on file info and searching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you click through to the next video, we're actually going to cover tree and a bunch of other dir walk type commands. Those are going to basically baseline an entire hard drive, an entire share, put it out to a file that you can then download and do some analysis offline. So click through to the next one. I'll see you there.